Okay, welcome back to part two. Actually, when between the videos here, this was a bit too close to the edge there, so I've had just a little bit of a tweak there to get that it was too close to the edge of the cover. Okay, so the next thing is we just remove our framework, which is here. So I could just simply, this is this level. So if I was just to uncheck it, if I don't want to lose it altogether, or we can just get rid of it altogether. So I'm just going to do that. The next thing is to turn them into like the colors. So what I actually did was I turn it into white, the text, but of course now we can't click on this to change the color because all that's going to do is create a new text layer. This is now a pixelated layer, so we can't use that now. There's two ways to do it. We can either paint bucket it and just click on each individual letter, okay, or we could use the gradient tool and select the letters and just go like that, making the gradient one color as opposed to two or more colors. So first of all, what we do is what I did to make that easier is I just made all these layers as one, so that's easy to do. On the top layer there, so we just simply layer merge down. As you can see, it's moving down. So and I just do that until all those book layers are one on the same, essentially put them all on one layer, so they're separate layers, because we don't need them to be like that now. That means now anything we do will affect all layers, so instead of doing one at a time, it's a little bit quicker. So just click on merge here, click on this colors, and you see it's black and white, so I just change that to white, and like so, and click OK, which is slightly off the screen there, and as you can see it's all white. But if it wasn't for the color there, just make sure I can just simply drag that across there and make sure that white stays the same color throughout. Click anywhere here, and first need to select letters, because if I was to do that now it would just turn the whole cover or whole screen, just layer the whole lot. So it just simply you'll select pixels, which will just select the pixel on this layer, which of course all our title, and then we just simply drag across from the top to the bottom, release my mouse button, and hey presto, all the letters have turned white. It just works a little bit in the paint bucket tool, right? So it just seems to select more, doesn't miss anything out. So just deselect all. So it's a good practice to do that. And I did a couple of little tweaks. Now I can't remember exactly what settings I had to get this exact cover here, but you can have a little play with this. So what I did is just clicked on the layer styles for the title style layer, and I checked inner shadow like so, and as I say, I can't remember exact settings on it, so I could go in here and play with these. Of course we can do that. Then what I did is I used a filter called Vignette, I think that's how you pronounce it, down here on your filter menu. If I click that one, you can see now you can adjust these things here. So I'm not for sure whether I made it more dark there, or looking at the edges here, possibly not quite as much as that, probably about there I would say is possibly where it is, a bit more perhaps that way. Yeah, just have a little play until you're so happy. It is slightly different to this one, isn't it? So I'm not sure, as I said, what settings I've had on that, but I know those are the two ones I did do. I'm pretty sure I didn't select any of these others, but I mean if you want to play with those, you could play with these as well and do different things like that. So possibly I just adjusted some of these settings, perhaps, or whatever, the size, perhaps it was something like that. Yeah, that's sort of more like it, isn't it? That sort of thing. Perhaps the distance a little bit like so. Yeah, it's probably something like that. But play around with it until you've got sort of color you like or shading you like. So it creates this vignette, a nice little way of doing it. Nice little effect that it has on there. So the next thing we did was just add the subtitle, which was this one. I decided on improve 3 steps to making money, and I made the text red in this part, and then of course type my name as the author. So I don't need you to, I'm sure you know how to type text. I'm just going to click on that. I'll just start it off, so I just clicked in here, and I just made sure that the color, I believe it was this color I chose, or maybe in dark. Yes, I think it was actually that red. I just clicked OK, and then I just typed my text in. So I'm going to pause the video while I do that. I'll put my author name in as well as a text field, and I'll also transform them by doing the rasterize in layer. Okay, so there I've added my subtitle and my name. You can't. It's difficult for you to make out the title because the color, of course, is quite close to the rest of it. So just need to rasterize my name. There we are. Just annoyingly, sometimes it does move these layers down. Don't know why it does that, but you can just simply move them around again. So I just selected that one there, and what I did, you probably notice anyway, I've got white around it, makes it show up. So that's very easy to do. Just click layers, click outer glow, and it seems to pick this color for some reason. I just chose white, as you can see there, makes it appear. There we are, see. And then I just played with the layers, so I just went size. Just do that. Oh, that's probably too big. Probably there, yeah. Sorry, actually, beg your pardon. First thing I did was hardness. I made it harder it is. Look, you see it. The more it appears there, like you see. So I just made that white like that, and then the size. I mean, you could do that, but I wanted it sort of be around the letters a bit more, so I just adjusted it. So something like that. So yeah, like that there. So if I click OK on that, oh, and yeah, something else I did as well. I clicked bevel. There we are. Just to bevel it. So might want to go back to change these settings a little bit. So the size probably a little bit smaller. I want it to be big enough to see it, of course. Just something like, don't waste too much time doing this. Too much white. So something like that, that would be okay. Okay. I'm already on the move tool, so I can just move that slightly so it's more centered. And then what I did there, as you probably gather, I've taught you this in other lectures, is go to free transform, because you can't do it in distort. Now if you remember, there's these funny little terms. If you move it too close, of course, it's a double-sided arrow, which will make it bigger or smaller. But we don't want that. We just move it slightly away from the corner like that, and you'll get that one. And then you can turn your text to your desired position, and you can also move it around, of course, by clicking the middle. So you just get it into the position you'd like, making it sort of looking at the center, you know, the distance from the edge, distance from here and here. So that'll make it sort of like about right. And I think what I actually did as well is I made it just slightly taller, so the letters showed up a little bit better. And the handy thing of this, when you do one side, it does the other side equally, so you know if you're in the right distance from the top and bottom words there, it's not going to make them too big. So actually I could even do that. So it's a little bit better, this one, I think. So that's that one, really easy to do. I think it's better than this example here. And then just simply with this one, you probably know I used the distort tool on that, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So free distort. So we're almost there now. It means to just move that down here a bit, about there. And then what I did was I just dragged it around a bit just to make it the right thing. So sort of try and copy the example I did earlier. So it's about there, isn't it, on the book there? So starting about the same distance on the other side, then sort of keep it uniform. Looking at the bottom there, because you can see there at the bottom, it's try to get that so it's level. Use your eye, and the same on from the sides. So it's about probably a little bit more, like so. A little bit fiddly, but there we are. And then obviously we can't really make that out, so we just need to move that up a bit, so to make that an angle. Grab this corner and do the same with that. Checking the height of the letters as well here, just try and get them so you know you don't want it sort of like that. Well, you know, you could have that, I suppose, but what I want to do is just have that like that. Looking at the angle on each end as well, making sure it had that sloping effect, and just click this. I just want to remind you as well that if you do anything wrong, you can just simply click this and that will undo the work. So click that again, it will redo the work. That's quite handy for undoing mistakes if you don't think you can easily fix it by clicking distort again. So what I also did with this one as well, just make it stand out just a wee bit, I just put a very small drop shadow on it. It tends to default to quite a deep shadow, so I just increase the opacity. That makes it harder or darker, and then I just reduce the distance to just about 3, it says there. So I just clicked OK, and there you have it. That is the cover. So that's how to make a cover like this. Pretty good, eh?